Now this is something that looks like creation week, but yet happened in the latter years. 6-day war in Israel. They fought for the 6 days, and then Jerusalem was reunited on the 7th day, and then they could rest. This also is similar to a blueprint likeness for a 1967 Jubilee, which in further teachings we'll get into the Jubilees with you.
Yes, the Jubilees are very important, and I'm excited to go on and teach on what time we are in the Jubilee. But let's continue on with the prophetic 46, because now we're going to go into a prophetic 65, the second sign, okay? But before that, I want to let you know that also we know that in Psalm 90 that Moses wrote, he writes that 1,000 years is like one day to God. And in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, he says 1,000 years is like one day to God. Okay? So we're in that time. And you got to understand the Jews start at 6 p.m. in the evening to the morning. God created the earth in the evening to the morning. I just want to put that little seed into you. We're going to teach all about that in the time to come. But right now, let's get to the 65, the second sign to why 2013 is so important. And June, the Pentecost is so important, what God is about to do to the body of Christ. Because I believe, Christine, that God's about, you see, Jesus Christ did a 3.5-year ministry on the earth. And I believe he's about to do another 3.5-year ministry to call out truths, to call out and bring out the body of Christ from every denomination, from every tribe. For the atheists, my brothers and sisters that are out in the street, the true sheep shall hear his voice. At this hour, God's about to blow the trumpet of truth. Woo! Do you have the ears to hear? Okay? So where we're going to go now, because God is going to give another 7th sign, and it's going to be the number 65. Okay? So let's turn to the prophetic book, Isaiah, chapter 7. Okay? And God is going to be dealing with 2 kings, okay? A father and a son. Ahaz and Hezekiah, okay? And this is going to be miraculous, Christine, because when this, you see, this came in later, a couple of years later, to God filling in for me to show me and to back this up for 2013.
More and more confirmation.
It just blows my mind what God does. So in Isaiah 7, okay, we're going to start at the first verse, okay? And in the days of Ahaz, son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pekah, son of Remaliah, king of Israel, went up to Jerusalem to wage war against it, but they could not conquer it. And the house of David, Judah, was told, Syria is allied with Israel, and the heart of Ahaz and the hearts of his people trembled and shook, as the trees of the forest tremble and shake with the wind. Then said the Lord to Isaiah, Christine, go forth now to meet Judah's king Ahaz. You and your son, Jezebel, a remnant shall return at the end of the aqueduct or canal of the upper pool on the highway to the fullest field. Now we're dealing with another canal, even back here. The 1967 war was due over the Suez Canal. They're fighting over that territory, and now here we're going again. Israel is going with Syria against Jerusalem. And King Ahaz, who's a wicked king, he wasn't a good king. He wasn't doing the right thing. He's shaken. He has no faith. Okay? So God raises up a prophet, Isaiah, which means God's salvation. And he gives him a son right here. A remnant shall return. Okay, because God is speaking, Isaiah, God's salvation. And he's dealing with 2 of Isaiah's sons, as you'll see. Okay? You got to get this prophetically. Then said the Lord to Isaiah, go forth now to meet Judah. Okay, we went there. And say to him, verse 4, take heed and be quiet, fear not, neither be faint-hearted, because these 2 stumps are smoking firebrands at the fierce anger of the Syrian king Rezin and Syria and the son of Remaliah, Pekah. He's the usurper of the throne of Israel. See, Isaiah comes and says, why are you so afraid? See, he should have his faith in the Lord. Amen. But instead, he had it in idols. He had his own way. He mixed Yahweh
The false
with Baal, with false gods and idols.